waking up feeling like it's gone.
Good morning. So it is 10:47 right now. It's a nice gloomy day, and so I'm going to begin reading. And I am starting with Lord of Shadows. So I have actually been reading this for about a week and a half now already. I am on page 468, and this is a thick book, and the first one was a thick one too. I might review this and Lady Midnight and the last one in the trilogy once I finish. I don't know when that will be because I think I'm going to take a break from the series after I finish this one. They're so big. I want to read a couple of smaller ones, but hopefully I will. Actually, I definitely will finish this one today. I think I have about 200 pages left, so I will definitely be finishing that today. So that's what I'm going to start with, and then I will check in later when I'm done and when I move on to my next pick, which I haven't decided yet what it'll be, so stay tuned. Okay, so I have about a little less than 100 pages left of Lord of Shadows now. It is, let's do a time check-in. It is 1 o'clock, almost on the dot. So I've been reading for a few hours. I'll definitely share more of my thoughts on this book later, but it's good. I definitely like this book. I mean, I like everything that Cassandra Clare has written, and I think her writing has only improved over time. And I think this one was published in 2017. I mean, she definitely wrote this one after, obviously, City of Bones, and I think the improvement in her writing is huge. And I already liked it before, but this book in particular is so stressful. There is just so much conflict coming from all different directions. There's the main conflict of the book, which is stressful enough, but then just there's interpersonal conflict between so many characters. It's quite impressive how she has managed to do this, but I'm almost happy to be done with the book just so I don't have to be stressed anymore about what's going on. Although I have a suspicion it's going to leave me on a pretty big cliffhanger here that I'll be stressed about anyway. But yeah, just wanted to check in. I will definitely be finishing this, and then I will update you later. Okay, so it hasn't been that long since I last checked in, but a book that I had on hold at the library actually came in this morning. I got an email. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go walk to the library. It's a 15-minute walk. I will listen to the audiobook I've been listening to while I do that. I'm listening to Under the Whispering Door by Klune. I'm 86% of the way through. I have about 2 hours left, but I listen at 2 times speed, so I pretty much have only an hour left of that. So I'll probably get through the end of that while I'm walking. I'll go pick up the book. I still have a little bit left of Lord of Shadows, so I'm going to finish that up. And then, I don't know, I might start the book that I'm going to pick up from the library, but I also have this graphic novel that would be super quick to read. So I'm debating reading that first just to get a break from all the text, and then starting to read the book that I'm picking up from the library. So I will let you know what I decide. Well, I just finished Lord of Shadows, and I have no words. I was definitely right that it was left on a cliffhanger in a much bigger way than even I anticipated, so I might be picking up the third book sooner than I thought. It was intense. I need to collect my thoughts before I really talk about it, but anyway, I'm gonna go make some tea kind of process a little the ending of the book, and then I will figure out what book I'm going to read next. I'm debating between two. I have made my tea, and I have two books that I wanted to read during this 24-hour read-a-thon. So the first is a book I picked up at the library last week. It's called Monster. It's actually a graphic novel of the original book. So the original book was like a regular novel, and then this is a graphic novel adaptation. This book, my sister had to read it in middle school, I think, and I never had to, but I still wanted to, so when I saw it at the library, I just picked it up on a whim. It's about this teen named Steve Harmon who is facing trial for armed robbery and murder. Yeah. As he is like going through his trial and he's in juvie and stuff, he is imagining that what's happening to him is like a movie. I'm assuming as a coping mechanism, but that's all I really know. So this is the first contender, and then this second one is called Tokyo Ueno Station, and one of my friends recommended this to me a few months back actually, and they had it at my library, so I went and picked it up. This is the book that I went and picked up earlier today. It's a lot smaller than I thought it would be, so that's also why I'm thinking I wanted to read something light after I finished Lord of Shadows, but both of these are kind of smaller books, so I'm having to decide. I have no idea what this one is about. My friend recommended it to me and she told me, but I forgot. I just remember I was really excited about reading it, so I think I might do this one first and then hopefully be pleasantly surprised. I feel like, just judging this on the cover, this is like a lighter, fun book and read. I could be totally wrong, but I think I would rather end on a lighter note and go through the harder stuff first. Lord of Shadows was really intense. This sounds like it's going to be pretty intense too, so I feel like I'm going to knock this one out first for that reason. Okay, so I just finished reading Monster. It is 4:39 right now, so I still have a good bit of the day left. I don't know how I feel about Monster. I think the story was important and powerful, but there were parts of it that that could have been done better. And also, because this was a graphic novel, okay, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I want to be into graphic novels so bad. I want to get into manga as well, but for some reason, it's really hard for me to follow pictures. I don't know, that like sounds so silly when I say it out loud, but I have a really hard time following the story through pictures. I have a much easier time when it's up to my own interpretation. Like sometimes I feel like in graphic novels, I'm having a hard time trying to understand where the artist's head was at when they were, making the boxes, especially if there's no words at all. So graphic novels, I mean, they're a little bit better because they have typically more words than like other forms of picture books, but even still I struggle to follow the story, and so I think it kind of distanced me from the characters, and when it ended I didn't really feel, I think, the emotion. I'm trying not to like give anything away. I didn't feel the emotion that I think the author wanted me to feel. And I'm chalking it up to the fact that this was a graphic novel. Maybe if I had read the original book, I would have felt differently. Even still, there were parts of the novel that I felt could have been worked on. And so, I don't know. I already think that I know my rating for this, and it's like a 3-star, 2.5 if I could do that on Goodreads, but they still don't have a half-star system. So yeah, I don't know. I feel very like meh about it. I think I might have considered DNFing it if it wasn't such a short book, but this took me like less than an hour to read, and so I just feel like it was what it was. The story was important, but again, I wasn't attached to the characters, and it just kind of fell flat for me. But I want to preface that by saying that it could be because it's a graphic novel and it could have very little to do with the actual content. So okay, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna move out to the couch, probably grab a snack and a drink. I'm getting a little tired, so I think I'm going to get some caffeine in my system. I mean, I've been drinking tea, but I think I need something a little stronger. So I'm gonna go look in the fridge, go move to the couch, and then we will start reading Tokyo Ueno Station, which I'm very, very excited for. I might actually need to pull a 4th book off my shelf because this Tokyo Ueno Station is so short. I think I will finish it and be ready for another book. So that's exciting. I'll also have to... I didn't think that would happen. I didn't even plan for another book to be read during this. So that's exciting. I'll have to kind of take a look at my bookshelves because I don't have any more from the library and see what I have. Or I have some on my Kindle maybe too. So we'll see. I've moved. I have my blanket and I got an energy drink. So my boyfriend actually got this for me because I've been wanting to try it, and I already tried it. It's like opened. It's the Ghost Orange Cream energy drink. It tastes pretty good. I don't know. I don't normally drink energy drinks, but this one tastes pretty good. It's very sweet, so I've been drinking it kind of in slow spurts, but yeah, I don't know. I'd recommend trying it if you're into energy drinks. It's pretty good. I have Tokyo Ueno Station with me, so I'm about to curl up on the couch and begin reading that. And I'm gonna hold off on the snacks because my boyfriend actually just went to the market and he's picking up some snacks for me, so I'm just gonna drink my energy drink right now, get comfy on the couch. Okay, so update, I just finished reading Tokyo Ueno Station. It didn't take me that long. It is now 7:41, 7:42. So I was incorrect in thinking that this would be like a happier novel. This is why you don't judge books based off their covers, because it was really heart-wrenching and actually just sad all the way through. There were glimmers of happiness, but it was mainly talking about very, very dark and sad things. But I loved it still, even though it wasn't kind of what I was looking for. I don't know how to summarize it without giving away kind of maybe too much, so I'm going to just read the part of the synopsis that's on the inside jacket. So it says, Kazu is dead, but through his eyes, we see daily life in Tokyo buzz around him and learn the intimate details of his story, how society's inequalities and constrictions spiraled toward this ghostly fate, with moments of beauty and grace just out of reach. Born the same year as the Japanese emperor, Kazu's life was tied by a series of coincidences to the imperial family and shaped at every turn by the sweep of history. But he always experienced bad luck and loss, and now, in death, he finds himself unable to rest, doomed to haunt the park near Ueno Station in Tokyo. So, that's not even the whole synopsis, there's more, but that's kind of the gist of it. So we're following around this ghost who is, as the synopsis said, kind of haunting this park that he lived at. He, in the last years of his life, was homeless, and so it talks about that a lot, but it also talks about kind of the things that led up to how he ended up homeless. Again, it's very sad. But it was kind of like a Miyazaki film had been made for adults instead of kids. because Miyazaki films I feel like have very dark elements to them, but ultimately there's a happy ending most of the time because they are for children. So this was kind of like, it had that similar essence, and it kind of featured like the mundane parts of life in the same way that Miyazaki films do. If you watch Miyazaki films, I hopefully you feel the same way that I do about that. But that's like one of the things I like about Miyazaki films. They'll show, you know, like a family eating dinner, and it's like very mundane, but it's also made magical. And that was kind of what this book was doing with some of it. But again, just the subject was bleak. Obviously, it's not going to have the same like whimsy as a Miyazaki film. But yeah, I don't know. The best way I could describe it as a Miyazaki film turned into a film made for adults that featured a bit more serious topics. So overall, I think I'm going to give it a pretty good rating. I really enjoyed it. It's just, I can't knock it for not being what I expected it to be, because I didn't base that off of anything outside of the fact that the cover was colorful. So yeah, so I'm going to figure out what I'm going to read next. I'm going to take a look at what I have. I definitely want this next book I picked to be lighthearted. I have read too much heaviness in this whole entire day, so I want to read something light and goofy and silly. So I'm gonna go find a book that hopefully fits that bill, and I'll let you know what I pick, and I'll check back in later. That didn't take me very long. I have 2 books that I downloaded from, that I borrowed from the library that are downloaded on my Kindle right now, and the other one is The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren, and I actually have read Holidays, I think is what it's called, by her, and I really, really liked that book. It's something that I want to try to read every Christmas season if I can. So I know I like the author, and also this book just seems like a lighthearted, cute romance. Hopefully it's not too intense. I did a brief look at the synopsis, and it seems like it'll just be cute. In the Holidays was also mostly just cute too, so I feel like this is a pretty safe read. Again, I really don't want to read something that's too serious right now, so I think this is a good one. So I'm going to start that right now. It's almost 8 p.m., so I still have a good chunk of time to read. I'm really excited. I will check back in later. Okay, so update. I have to be kind of quiet because my boyfriend is sleeping, but I started reading The Soulmate Equation, and it has been perfect for what I wanted. It's like super light and cute and like, I don't know, heartwarming, but it's also kind of cheesy. It's just what I needed. I'm on chapter 16 right now. I'm 56% of the way through according to my Kindle, and it is almost midnight. I'm getting kind of tired. I think I'm gonna stay up for a bit longer and keep reading because I am enjoying it. morning. It is 8:35. I ended up staying up till like 1, but I wasn't reading. I was just on my phone. So, to 63%. And the Soulmate Equation, 2 hours left of this read-a-thon. I don't think I can finish this book, but I'm gonna try. So I'll keep you updated. I just finished reading The Love Hypothesis, and it is, well, first let me give a little bit of my thoughts on The Love Hypothesis. So it was perfect for what I wanted after all of those intense books that I read before. It stayed being cheesy, and I thought the ending was kind of abrupt. I don't want to give anything away, but I was hoping they would give away something that they didn't, and I guess that was the point, is because it ended up not really mattering. But I don't know, I kind of thought that, or I wanted them to give that information away, so that kind of sucked, but it was still good. I'm probably gonna rate it like a 4 stars, I think. I need to think about it a little bit more, but it was definitely perfect for what I needed in the moment. So it is now 10:10. I have about 30 more minutes, just under 30 more minutes before it's been 24 hours. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'll finish listening to Under the Whispering Door, because I have about 55 minutes left on it. But again, I listen at 2 times speed, so I can definitely, I have almost perfect amount of time actually to listen to this before 10:47 hits, which I think is the time I started. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll check back in when I'm done. Okay, it is 10:41. I just finished Under the Whispering Door. And I have some thoughts. So I've read Under the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune when it was really, really popping off last December, I think, and I read it right around that time. And I really enjoyed that book. Someone's described it as like being like a Pixar movie, kind of like giving you that same like magical feel-good feeling. And I agree, I really like that one. And this one had the same feeling as that. It's about a man who owns a tea shop, and he helps people cross over once they die. So they come to him right after their death, and they stay for a few weeks at the tea shop. And Hugo, the owner of the tea shop, kind of eases these people into the transition. And so they get a man one day who's like this corporate drone, and he's kind of an ass. And the story revolves around him and his time at the tea shop. And it's cute and it's whimsical, just like it sounds, but it was also so long. It did not need to be as long as it was. It was a 15-hour audiobook, so I don't actually know how many pages it was, because again, I only read it on the audiobook. I wasn't following along or anything, but that is, for now that I'm thinking about everything that happened in the book, it was just way too many pages. It could have been condensed, and I think the story would have been a lot more enjoyable if it was condensed, because some parts it felt like it was just dragging on, and I was finding myself kind of wishing that the book would be over already. So I don't remember feeling that way about Under the Cerulean Sea. I don't remember how long that book was though, so my memory's a little foggy. But yeah, I'll still give it a good rating. I enjoyed listening to it. However, I just don't think it needed to be as long as it was, and I definitely liked Under the Cerulean Sea better. This novel felt kind of similar, almost too similar, also a little bit lackluster in comparison to just the plot of the Cerulean Sea. So, but it did have like a feel-good, warm, happy ending, just like the Cerulean Sea, and it was kind of a perfect way to end my 24-hour reading. So I've got 3 more minutes left, but I'm just gonna stop here because I feel like this is a good place to stop. So in conclusion, I've finished 2 books. I finished Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune and Lord of Shadows, both of which I had already started well before yesterday. And then I completely finished reading 3 books. So I read Monster, this was a graphic novel, and then Tokyo Ueno Station, and then on my Kindle, which I don't have on me right now, I finished The Love Equation. So overall, I feel like this was a pretty successful 24-hour readathon. I only read some not so great books, but I read some books that I really, really liked that stood out. So pretty happy with that.
Waking up feeling like it's gone rain.